this doesn't need an introduction. You already know what it is. So, after his previous fight with Daishinkin, realizing that he is no match for Daishinkin, he asked Daishinkin if he can train him, which the angel would agree to, but under two conditions. First, he would have to have 2 more students with him, which Goku actually likes the idea of that, seeing as he'll have strong opponents to go against. And the Grand Priest would only thought this would be a problem because most people want power for themselves. So he was kind of surprised that Goku was okay with all 3 of them training together. And then he would say, you would have to train on my world as well. And Goku would also be okay with this. And the 2 other students of the Grand Priest would be Broly and Jiren. So they would train with the angel for like two years, and they'd all get exponentially stronger. And Raditz has been training with all the gods of destruction, so he can soon become like the god of destruction that connects them all together. Like if there's infighting between them, he has permission from the Grand Priest to stop the fight. That's why he's getting trained by all the gods of destruction. And soon he'll be getting trained by the angels. But other than that, everything is the same, with Goten and Trunks training on Earth, trying to get stronger. And Goten and Trunks have both... Wait, did I say Trunks? Oh, I'm retarded. Trunks doesn't exist here. Goten. Oh wait, or does... Yeah, he does exist. I'm pretty sure I made him exist. And hold up, I gotta check this. I'm retarded. Alright, so Trunks does exist. Okay. I was confused on that for a second. Yeah. Alright. So, yeah, the 2 were training, and Goten has... Hold up. Alright. So, sorry, my mom had called me because she needed me to do something. But, so, Goten has been able to use Super Saiyan Blue. Because, you know, why not? And he's at the strengths of Goku versus Golden Frieza. And then Trunks has also been able to use God Ki. But he also kind of took the same route as Goku. But instead of it being where his hair stays the same, he just gets a more menacing aura or ki with the lightning. His hair actually spikes up and his pupils like just disappear. And yeah, so they become stronger as well. And they also would ask Whis to like sometimes take them to go see Kaba, as Kaba's like the... And, you know, Kaba, Kale, and Khalifa are all around their age. They're like a little bit older, and by a little bit I mean a lot, but they're still like children like them. So they would go over there a lot to train with them. So, yeah, life is good. And I don't really like doing the moral arc because it doesn't really appeal to me and I don't know much about it. So I'm gonna make my own like filler arc for this. So hold on, let me find like a perfect villain. Let me think of one and stuff. So, in all the universes, there are different versions, well, other than Universe 6, there are different versions of Dr. Gero. And they soon find, like, out a way to travel through dimensions. So, well, not all of them, only one of them. And he would go to every universe, collecting every one of the, Dr. Gero's, besides the one from Universe 7 as well, because he's dead. And they would all band together to create a great bio-android who is already in its perfect form. And they would use DNA that they had got from the angels. Every single angel's DNA besides Luis and Vado's DNA and Daishikin is in this being. And it also has the same, it has DNA of all the gods of destruction besides Beerus and Champa. And this makes him essentially one of the greatest beings to ever exist. And one day he would travel out of his multiverse after killing all of his masters. And he would find Raditz. And he would stare at Raditz. And Raditz would be pretty confused as he sees this seemingly evil being, as he can sense the evil intent. But it's so weak compared to him, he would think. But in a flash, it unleashed its full power and appeared in front of Raditz, throwing a punch that Raditz was just barely able to block. That would then disappear all around the Tournament of Power, like ring place, because that's where Raditz trains with the gods of destruction. And their punches are just breaking apart the arena. And Goku, Broly, and Jiren are so far away they don't even feel what's happening. So then Raditz would be kicked back, and he would say, "Alright, that's enough playing around." As he would then gather up his energy and enter his god form. As he would look similar to Topo, like when it comes to like the purple aura, but it's like a lot darker. His eyes are dark purple. He has the symbol on his chest, and he has become a lot buffer, but not like Topo kind of buff. And this would make him like take the lead in the battle, and he would be demolishing this android, this whatever it is, he would say to himself. And then he would punch it into the ground. Then the android would get up, cracking its neck, and then all of the parts that are yellow on it would turn a dark purple, and he would flare up his ki, as he was also in his God of Destruction form. And he would then be on the same level of with Raditz. They would be fighting for a while, and Raditz would say, "You're strong. I didn't think you would push me into this form." As he would focus his mind, he was now using his Ultra Instinct form with Hakai energy, which it would take a master to do. And Raditz has unlocked this form in 2 years. He hasn't mastered it, and this is really the first time he's ever used it. And he would start demolishing this android, kicking him in the stomach, slamming his foot down on his chest, and then appearing under him, launching a flurry of blows so fast the bio-android couldn't even see what happened. As he would get launched into the air, and he would fly up so high, but he would stop himself and rush back down with 2 dark purple energy beams in his hands. And he would be above Raditz and get ready to punch him, but Raditz dodged out of the way. But he then teleported behind Raditz and threw another punch that Raditz dodged. He would then make a clone of himself, and they would both be teleporting around Raditz trying to hit him, but Raditz would be dodging all the attacks. And then he would grab both him and the clone, slam it into the ground, grab them by their tails, swing them around, slam them into each other, and launch them to the other side of the arena. He would then mutter the words, "You're too weak." And he would hold up his hand and say, "Hakai beam." As his hand will unleash a beam 10 times his own size, and would be fired at the android. And the android would grab the gem on his head and break it, releasing all the angel energy and DNA he had stored up within him. And then a halo appeared behind him, similar to the halos that are around the Whis' neck. I mean the angel's necks, and his his black armor and body would then be turned pure white, with the yellow parts being a light blue with purple accents to it. And this would be his ultimate form, his ultimate power. As in a flash, he would be in front of Raditz, one-shotting him. This would bring Raditz to his knees and knock him out. And before he can finish Raditz, one of the gods of destruction would then kick him in his chest, sending him back and say, now you're fighting us. As the rest of the gods of destructions and their angels would appear in front of Raditz, protecting him. They would all dash at the android. But for now, we're going to focus on what's happening on Earth. Goten and Trunks would spend hours trying to contact Beerus or even Whis, but they got no answer. So they had to train with Gohan. Wait, oh my god, I'm retarded. Sorry. So they would just be training by themselves for the time being. And then they would ask their mom if they could use, well, not their mom, Bulma, if they could use a spaceship to go find some strong opponents to fight. And Bulma would allow this only because she knows how strong her son and his friend is, or Goten. So she would let them go, but they had to be back at a certain time. So they would use the spaceship, and this was one of the fastest spaceships that Bulma had. And it got them to their destination pretty fast. It was some planet that was far off. And as soon as they got there, they were greeted by some Namekian-looking creatures. But instead of them being green, they were a light blue. And they appeared a lot buffer, and they had horns instead of antennas. These beings would then take these two as a threat, and one half of them would fuse, and it was at least 1,000 of them in that one half, and then the other half would fuse as well, making two godlike beings strong enough to rival Beerus. And if they were to fuse together, they would probably be at the same strength of Beerus. And this would kind of scare Goten and Trunks. But they wouldn't worry, as Goten would then go Super Saiyan Blue, and Trunks would go to his Super Saiyan God 2. And they would dash at the two beings, going blow for blow. But every time one would punch, it would be blocked by the Namekian, and the Namekian would attack with a even harder counterattack. The two boys are starting to realize that they don't stand a chance. As Goten would throw a punch, it would be caught, then it would be met with a knee to the stomach, and then he would be thrown back. They would then tell each other, I guess we have to resort to that. And they would start doing the fusion dance. And once they are done, they become Gotenks. And he instantly powers up into his Super Saiyan God Blue. His Super Saiyan Blue God 2 form. And it would be, his hair would be split down the middle with red and blue. And the same thing with his aura, or ki, as he would dash at the two beings, delivering two clotheslines to them. And when they flew in the air, he held up his hands and launched two ki blasts, sending them into the air. And then he would launch a gallic wave. It would be dark blue and with a purple surrounding it. He would launch it up as the two Namekian-like creatures would fuse together, and they would make a dome around themselves. And this time, when they appeared in, well, disappeared and appeared behind Goten, they attacked so hard that it sent a message to Goten. They were attacking to kill. Goten Gotenks now like, he realizes that he can't play around anymore. And he would start fighting the being. And they'd be on equal footing. The only thing that would mess it up for him is his size, as he is like clearly a lot smaller than the Namekian being. And they would be fighting. Then Goten would be smacked back, and before he could get up, the Namekian would grab him by his face, like just driving him across the ground. And then he would throw him into the air and launch a powerful key ball that would slam into him, knock him to the ground. And Goten would defuse, with both Trunks and Goten being severely hurt. But Trunks will be able to reach the sensu beans in his pocket and give one to Goten, as they would both eat and become a lot stronger. But they didn't have time to fuse, as the Namekian warrior was already there, and they would have to try to fight him in their most powerful forms, but separate. And this fight would kind of be similar to the fight in canon where Goku and Piccolo were fighting against Raditz. And this would go on for a while until they were both blasted back. And then they would think to themselves that, they can't die. They promised his mom that they'd be back at a certain time. And then this would cause them both to break through their limits. And Goten would go into a Super Saiyan 3 Blue. And Trunks, a Super Saiyan 3 God. As they would fly at the being and punch him in his gut and kick him back, as he wasn't expecting this. And they both know they're only as strong, like they're only just barely stronger than the Namekian creatures when they were separate. So they know that they have to fuse again, which they just barely had enough time. And when they fused, the Namekian creature was going to stab straight through them, but their ki blasted him far back. As when he recovered from the fatigue, he would see the same warrior, but with long hair, and it would still split red and blue down the middle. He would say, "There's no way you can beat us now. We're Gotenks." As he would put up the peace sign and then disappear from the Namekian creature's sight. And he would punch it straight in the gut, and then he would kick it. They would then start fighting, sending shockwaves around the world. It was clear that Goten obviously had the power advantage, and he would not let up. And they were breaking the planet they were on. And this planet was bigger than freaking Jupiter in real life, and Jupiter's pretty freaking big. But yeah. Now we cut back to the angels and gods of destruction versus the bio-android. You can see all the weakened angels and the weakened gods of destruction. Then the bio-android will walk back up to Raditz, as his only goal is to kill Raditz, Goku, Broly, and the priest, the Grand Priest. Sorry. And then he would then hold his hand out towards Raditz and prepare a ki blast, and it would be fired. But then Goku would deflect the ki blast in the nick of time, as Broly and Jiren would grab the shoulders of the android and fly fast and throw him across the arena. And this would anger him, as he would dash back, delivering 2 punches to both of them, but they had blocked. And they would all get into a battle, going blow for blow, until Jiren had stepped back and went into his Limit Breaker form, stacked with Ultra Instinct. And he would be on somewhat of an equal footing with the bio-android before being knocked down. The Bio-Android would then go towards Broly. And Broly would go into his legendary Ultra Instinct, with his hair lighting up green instead of the usual silver. And he would be doing fair against the android. But over time, he would start to get stronger. And he would punch the android in his chest, grab his leg, and throw him onto the ground. And as the android is flying down to the ground, Broly is on top of him, punching him down, flying downwards, increasing the speed. And eventually, they'd be going past sonic boom levels, and even past light speed into the ground. And that's how strong Broly's punches were. And they would smash into the arena, destroying it. And the angels, with every ounce of energy they had left, they would be holding the arena together because if they were to fall down into that void, they won't be brought back into the stands like in the top pyramid of power, and they would be completely erased forever. For they did not know that they did not know of anything that could bring them back. Not even the Grand Priest could. As from there, the android would then look at Broly and unleash his full power, sending Broly flying into the air. Broly would then be confused, as he was just winning the fight, and then he would start getting beat on badly. This would cause Broly to lose control, and he would start winning the fight again, until the android would then finally be like, alright, I'm done. And he would freaking flick him back with his tail and launch an astonishing ki blast to the chest, which would freaking make him cough up some blood and ultimately knock him out. Now the only fighter left is Goku. And Goku is weaker than Broly when he goes berserk. So he knows he doesn't stand a chance. But Raditz, the angels, and Jiren, Broly, the gods of destruction would all look at Goku, putting their faith into him. And they would all transfer their energy into him. And Goku would go Super Saiyan White. They would be on equal footing, with Goku being able to keep up somehow. He was astonished by his power, but he still had the willpower to just keep fighting. Goku was then smacked by his tail, but he would stop himself from flying off too far, and he would launch a Kamehameha wave that would be met with another Kamehameha wave. They would get into a beam struggle, but ultimately both the attacks would be dispersed. And then, with no time to lose, both the opponents would dash at each other, clashing fists, sending shockwaves across the multiverse. Gotenks, who had just defeated their opponent but spared him, could even feel it, and they were scared, as they knew what was happening. Chi-Chi and Bulma, who are on Earth, and Gohan, I keep saying Gohan, were scared at this tremendous power. Everyone in every multiverse, every universe was scared. And now, we go to a place that looks similar to the multiverse in Dragon Ball Z. But instead of it, this is like the Ultra Multiverse. All those things that look like universes, those are actually the multiverses that, one of those are the multiverse that Goku lives in, as there is a higher universe or multiverse above where Goku is, and they could faintly feel the battle. This is how strong Goku and this android is off. This is how strong they are. Yeah, this is how strong they are. And this would alert a purple cat that looks buff. This was revealed to be Beerus and Champa's father. And he would say, "What is this battle?" As he would then make his way to the Grand Priest's multiverse. And Goku would be punched back, knocked into his base form, and he would be saddened as he knows what's going to happen. But he then feels a certain boost in power. He doesn't know why, but he can't even get up. And the android would say, "You know what? I want to make you suffer." And he would teleport away and then teleport back, as he has both Bulma and Chi-Chi right in front of him, and he's holding Ki Blast to the back of their heads. And he would say, "Well, enjoy your last moments with them." Well, I guess I wouldn't say your last moments, as you'll be seeing them very soon. And he would shoot the Ki Blast through the back of their heads, killing them both. This would anger Goku, and the android would say, "By the way, you could just call me Android 3000, as I will be the strongest of the androids that were ever created. And 3000 is just the best number." And Goku would finally feel the push that he needed, unlocking a new... He would go into Super Saiyan White 3. But he wouldn't stop there. And he would ascend to Super Saiyan White 3 Beyond. Getting, like Super Saiyan White 3 was already, excuse me, like overkill. But now it's basically Beerus fighting baby Goku. That's how unfair this fight is. And on top of that, he's been practicing, instead of practicing Ultra Instinct like originally, he actually practices Ultra Ego, as he already has enough speed in his Super Saiyan White forms, so he was just focusing on strength, because that's what Ultra Ego focuses on more. Focuses on harder, I guess. Like, I don't know. Excuse me. So, around the white key would be a dark purple key as it shoots up into the sky. He would say, "You kill Bulma, kill Chi-Chi, and you even beat up all of my friends. And you think I'm gonna let you go free, don't you? Like all the other enemies I faced. But no, you must die." As he would disappear and appear in front of the android, and he would punch forward, but he wouldn't even connect it to the beast that had murdered his wife and his longtime friend. But just the impact from the air would rip off multiple freaking holes through the android, killing it. As he would then instant transmission away and then instant transmission back, as he has all the Super Dragon Balls around him, and he would speak to the Dragon Balls in the language of the angels. And he would wish for everyone that had been killed by Android 3000 to be revived. So all the Dr. Giros came back to life. But Goku, he knows that someone had to make them. So he went looking for them, and he eventually found them, and he ended up imprisoning them. And as he sits there in his form, that same buff cat would appear behind him, and his power would be at least 3 times that of Goku's current form. And Goku's current form is 2 times, if not more, than the Grand Priest's power. And Goku is just astonished, as he's now thinking like, okay, now the multiverse is gonna get destroyed. But the god puts his hand on Goku's shoulder, and he would say, "I am the god of destruction for the multiverse, like in the multiverse, and I would like you to come by. Check. We have many strong fighters." and I think it's time we add another to the roster. As he would smile. And this smile would kind of creep Goku out. He would say, I guess I'll come by. As the cat-like person would leave. And the Grand Priest would instantly be there, as he knew who the god was. And he was concerned. He was like, alright. Like, did he say anything? Did he say we were gonna get destroyed? He was like, Goku's like, nah. He just, invited me to the multiverse. Do you know that guy? The Grand Priest would then say, he's the god of destruction of the multiverse. But I thought this was the multiverse. Well, there's like a greater multiverse out there. It has 5 other multiverses inside of it. And any fighter that's there has probably already beaten some of my older siblings. And all my older siblings are angels just like me. But they're stronger. But you're stronger than all of them. Not combined. If we were all together, we'd be an almost unstoppable force. There's only been 2 who could defeat all of us together. The god you just seen, and then our father. So, he invited you, huh? That must mean he wants you to partake in the little battle royale. And Goku would then say, well, this should be interesting. And that's where I'm going to end this off. Hope you guys liked it. And I hope you guys liked how I put my own little spin on it. This series has become the most liked one on my channel. Was 28 views in 2 days. And it only had 1 episode. While my other video had, other series with the Wolf God and stuff, had 2 episodes, but it didn't have 28 views. Yeah. So hope you like this part, and other than that, peace out.